morning, and thank you so much for being here. So I imagine that supply chain is very important to all of you. Thank you for making it all the way through Friday. I hope that so far you have been enjoying the amazing announcements at Ignite that are everywhere in our company at Microsoft, and of course are also embedded in the future of supply chains. I have the delight today to be leading this session with my amazing Cummins partner and also Yonder. So you will hear about amazing stories of how we are transforming with this technology, Cummins, and of course how Partner Solutions and Microsoft is really transforming the trajectory of the future of supply chains for Cummins. I am Yury Gomez. I am the global head for manufacturing and mobility supply chain transformation. And I help a lot of customers around the world to transform their supply chains. Whether you are in a function of manufacturing or sourcing, procurement, delivering and logistics, and planning, we really have amazing capabilities that is changing the game of the future of supply chains. So with that, I would like to ask Armando from Cummins to introduce himself.
Yeah, thank you, Yury. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. My name is Armando Duran. I'm coming representing Cummins, a professional with more than 25 years of experience in the industry, implementing IT systems, but also running operations in supply chain. I'm originally from Mexico, but been in the US for the past 10 years, and I'm based in Indiana, where we have our global headquarters for Cummins. Thank you.
Thank you, Armando. And Chris, please.
Yes. Hey, everybody. Chris Burchett. I lead the product development for generative AI and agents and the strategy of that for Yonder. And before this role, I helped to build and I led the platform, the native cloud platform on Azure. I led that development and helped all of our products be re-architected onto that. So it's great to be here.
Thank you so much for being here. And thank you to everybody who traveled here at Ignite also to make this event a wonderful success. So with that, I want to start with this specific key message to take home. Agentic AI is really the new electricity that is powering your supply chains. Supply chains, as we know, are evolving from becoming very reactive systems to now really the capability of becoming intelligent, predictive, and autonomous networks. And of course, these supply chains today, as you have seen, they are powered by agentic AI capabilities, driving real-time visibility, predictive insights, and most important is really helping every person in supply chains making better decisions. So you already heard from the three of us. We will be guiding you through hearing this amazing story of how Microsoft has been partnering over the last few years in a journey with Cummins, but most importantly, all of this journey, how all of this is evolving. So of course, at Microsoft, we are helping customers to transform. And this transformation really is about helping them to become frontiers, to develop frontier supply chains that are agile, that are fluid, and that can withstand all of the disruptions that the market faces today. You've been probably hearing many of these different pillars, all the way from our CEO, Judson Althoff, to many other leaders across different functions. But I want to translate this into supply chain. So imagine really the day-to-day work that supply chains have to do. There are many employees delivering sufficient and amazing impact in every function of the organization, from enriching the way they work to really changing the workflows of the activities and tasks they do we really are changing these games with Agentic AI. And you have been hearing pretty much Work IQ this week, Fabric IQ, and Azure IQ. We are really embedding this layer to really transform the way that people will continue to operate more fluidly in their supply chains. And then we are also reinventing customer engagement. For us, it really is critical. And you will actually hear, as I speak with Armando today, on how really with Blue Yonder capabilities and Microsoft capabilities, Cummins is able to actually transform this customer engagement directly in their aftermarket part. And then, of course, then we start to say, how can we actually start changing all the workflows and tags inside supply chain? For us, it's super important that we reshape business processes. And this is really taking a very deep look at everything that humans do, understanding the flow of work, the activities, the spaces where people work, and then bringing all of these capabilities into a fluid fabric that can really empower you and your teams and your leaders to really deliver more productivity, more profitability, and driving growth for your supply chains. So at the end of the day, you can start thinking about the future, and the future is about really bending this curve of innovation, accelerating every person in your supply chains, working with data in more intelligent ways, and of course, enhancing everything you do for your companies. So with that, let's hear directly from my friend Armando at Cummins, especially on the journey that Cummins has been transforming. So Armando, again, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
But the audience and myself, we are curious to know on this amazing complexity that Cummins has. Help us ground on Cummins, all the complexity, sites, geographies, so that we have a baseline of understanding about your company.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. So I picked this intro slide, right, just to talk a little bit more about, what is Cummins, right? And you saw this, diesel engine from the X10 series, a mid-range. That's one of our many, many products, right? I'll talk a little bit about, what we are as company, right? So first, I'll talk about our mission, right? Our mission is making people's life better by empowering the world, right? Empowering a more prosperous world. Mm-hmm. And the way we can accomplish this is by keeping the innovation, right? Keeping innovating. The diesel engine has existed for many, many years, right? Even though Cummins continues to make it better, more powerful, more efficient, more environmental friendly, right? So the innovation keeps ongoing, right? We have this brand promise to our customers, right? That we are going to deliver on that innovation. So our customers become more agile. They can respond to the needs of their own customers, right? And we need to make it very right for them, because in many cases, our customers, they also produce a diesel engine, right? So our customers also become our competitors, right, in segments, right? So we need to excel in that regard, right? Cummins is a global company. We have presence over 190 countries. We have been existing for more than 100 years. We have 70,000 employees across the globe. And we have millions of our products running with a long lifespan of the product, right? So we need to support, we need to continue providing parts for products that were, manufacturing sometimes 10 years ago, 15 years ago, et cetera, right? We operate 5 segments. You saw them in the previous slide. But we have a big variety of markets, right? Big variety of our customers, right? Cummins traditionally is known by our on-highway products, right? The engines that power trucks or they move goods or people. We also play in construction markets, mining markets, emergency, oil and gas, residential, and one of our big markets nowadays is, of course, data centers, right? Data centers, where Microsoft is also one of our top customers, right? Again, it's not just as simple as an engine. It's, reaching to all of these markets and customers and being flexible enough to produce services and products that fit the requirement, right?
Well, thank you, Armando, for leading us to this. So as you can see, the complexity is immense. And when you think about really, how do you really, as a company, continue to really improve not only the supply chains of your own company, but also the customer experience for all of the amazing customers you serve, this complexity can either help you grow or actually ruin your company. So digital technology becomes then, of course, super critical. And when we think about all of this complexity, Armando, of course, looking at more than 50 manufacturing plants for Cummins alone everywhere around the world. And when I think about the number of SKUs, the level of complexity that you actually have to drive in the aftermarket space, help us ground into what this complexity means to ensure that you have the best planning systems, the better warehouse management, applications that help you make decisions better. And maybe like how that complexity has transitioned for you and your team, an organization, from the last couple of years to where you are today.
Yeah, thank you. Well, so, our story is this one, right? So as you can see in the slide, right? So we run a very complex supply chain, right? We have, many manufacturing plants, distribution and logistics centers. We also run a reverse logistics because we remanufacture our products. We rebuild our big, engines. We continue having innovation in our research and development technical center, right? So all of that requires, coordination, synchronization, material flows, et cetera, right? Since we operate in all these different geographies, right, we also comply with all the multiple regulations, right? And obviously the markets are not static, they are always changing, right? So that drives a lot of complexity to our supply chain, right? What our customers want is, Cummins to be agile, to be resilient, to be flexible, right? And, how that's translating to our IT function, right? We cannot do that, right, with the many, many IT applications that, historically we have for our business, right? The way our company grow, in many cases, was through acquisitions, and we kind of leave those legacy applications sitting there, right? And now, in this time, with what we call it internally our era of productivity, now the challenge is how do we link all those IT systems? How do we, build these bridges, right? And that's where, AI also comes into place, right? We need to be very wise, very smart, picking what are those initiatives on AI that can give us, a quick return of the value, right? What are those modernization initiatives that we can continue running so we can, move our systems to the next level, right? To the modern platforms that we have, right? And obviously we don't have a blank check, right? We don't have all the money we can spend, right? So we need to pick those investments in the use cases that, again, give us a quick return value so we can, continue investing, right? I think that's the complexity that we are living in the supply chain, and also that translating to our IT function.
Yeah, thank you so much for helping us understand that. And I love the way you are saying, you don't have all the money of the world. You have to also be very careful in picking the use cases that will drive the faster and more agile, but also the best profitability and growth for your company in terms of business value. So let's talk about that, Chris. Blue Yonder has been the chosen partner of transformation in a lot of these modernization efforts.
Right.
So in your journey, Blue Yonder working with Cummins and of course Microsoft powering all of these platforms to accelerate insights, how the journey has been transformative for Blue Yonder and Cummins. Help us understand that transformation journey.
Sure. Yeah, and it's a great point because we have been transforming, the supply chain historically has been a number of fragmented applications. Some customers, 28 different applications that they have to piece together. And so what we've been able to do with Microsoft is bring all of those into one common platform, one common data model, and then build the solutions. So many customers, they love the products, and so we didn't want to leave the rich technology and gold IP we had, so we brought it onto this new platform, and we were able to bring them together so that now they're seamlessly integrated and kind of reimagined to take advantage of the infinite scale of compute and data that really enables us to be the AI platform now, that you have the data there and you have the scale to the point where every day we do 25 billion machine learning predictions for the world.
Wow.
And that's double what Google does search results, right? So then in Cummins' case, we're really working closely with Cummins on warehouse management. And this is really, if you think about it, this is the heart of the supply chain in some sense, because it's where all the goods are moving, and you have very complex challenges in the warehouse. Most warehouse managers will say, if you always start the day with a plan, but then by 2 hours later, your plan is out the window and you're trying to respond to whatever's going on, right? And so what we've done is we've worked with Cummins on establishing our core WMS as a key component for managing the chaos. We're adding prediction in the warehouse for labor and for travel times. And so this is part of the way. And then, of course, we're bringing the agents, too, which we'll talk about.
I love it. And we will talk about that in a bit, because I'm sure that the audience here wants to know about what's the path for agentic AI. But Armando, so to Chris' points, right, is, data is everywhere. And this complexity is infinite. But the need to synchronize end-to-end supply chain visibility and orchestration is super important. Help us understand how your path, maybe from all the data centers, from a data center perspective, supplying to customers, but also from the aftermarket market. You went from distribution centers, right, that have a lot of parts to supply to customers. What does that mean in terms of the capabilities that Blue Yonder has given Cummins to consolidate, to perform, to go faster and better?
Yeah. Well, so I think I mentioned, right, that the way we see ourselves accomplishing our mission as companies through innovation, right? We cannot do everything ourselves, right? So we need to get help from our partners. And in the case with Blue Yonder, we have developed a partnership for more than 20 years, right? Chris was mentioning our logistics centers, right? One of our challenges that we have faced is being all these extends company distributed all across. We have many sites, many logistics centers that also translate into operational costs, right? And we have redesigned our network, right? We have been able to consolidate operations with Blue Yonder capabilities. We used to have warehouses dedicated only for manufacturing, or other warehouses dedicated only for aftermarket, just because we believe that capabilities were very different, and it's really not, right? We have been able to consolidate operations, create a global template that allows to implement faster our systems, right? And that obviously translates into better operational costs, right? More efficiency, and at the end, is more productivity, right? Or employees working on these operations, right? They can do their work faster, right? They eliminate steps, right? And they do it now with better tools, right? So, which also, makes the life of our employees easier, right?
I love that. And so why don't we talk a little bit about the opportunities that you see ahead of this journey, right? So you've done a lot, you consolidated centers, you worked with Blue Yonder, Microsoft to really transform your supply chain, and I believe also Cummins, so digital technology has always been done in silos.
Yeah.
And how do you go about bringing really all of the different teammates and functions to really synchronize on the modernization of a new age of AI. Just because, of course, working with Microsoft and Blue Yonder, you saw the opportunity to drive more efficiencies in all of this. But walk us through this journey, right, on how Cummins started from probably a very siloed perspective to where you are now in a unified, synchronized leadership vision for the future.
No, thank you. So you just saw the slide that we operate in 5 different business segments, right? And I mentioned we have acquired, historically companies to create those business units for us, right? And we have kept, in many cases, the same systems, right? And we have tried to do these, big, immense programs to, standardize ERPs and processes, right? But that's very difficult with, the different of markets, customers, capabilities, et cetera, right? So it has been more about, how do we start connecting rather than, in this case, replacing, right? But we also understand that, those legacy systems, they need to be modernized, right? So it's a balance between, how do we advance modernization, but also how do we start connecting our systems, right? I pick few of our challenges here that are in the supply chain, and that shows, what is the need to start connecting, our data, right? And becoming less siloed, right? More end-to-end integrated and bring, again, more end-to-end visibility to our internal users, but also respond to our customers with that information, right? I don't think these challenges will surprise you because, many other companies in supply chain are facing the same challenges, right? Tariffs, right? How can we innovate to actually analyze faster, quicker, the impact of tariffs, for example, right? Or, as I mentioned, controlling logistic costs, right? While keep delivering the right part at the right place at the right cost, right? Just to mention a couple, Yury.
Exactly, no, that's fantastic. And so I'm sure that you're probably wondering, okay, let us understand a little bit more of the Blue Yonder end-to-end capabilities, because the impact is amazing. And we have our customer Cummins testifying, this is the outcomes they have driven, consolidation of these seats. You can imagine already, so if they went from 45 to 20 DCs now, you can imagine the huge savings right there, and then productivity of employees. But it would be amazing, Chris, if you walk us through what this means for Blue Yonder. And again, I know Blue Yonder is our wonderful partner. You not only help industrial manufacturing, but also retail, CPG, manufacturing, steel. So the world is, is amazing, and we are ready to really drive impact. So help us understand these amazing capabilities that Blue Yonder brings to the table when it comes to delivering value to customers.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks for asking. And Blue Yonder is the only end-to-end software supplier for supply chains. And what I mean by that is no one else has the breadth for the full supply chain. And you see on the slide kind of where it starts with planning, long-range planning. It supports commerce. We do e-commerce solutions that do real-time inventory and response. Projections onto the website. Black Friday is coming up, and we're keying up for the round-the-clock support that always happens there in Dallas. So that's a huge part of our business. Of course, we've been talking about warehousing. That's been a strength of ours for years. And logistics, Armando mentioned logistics, transportation management, routing the trucks. And finally, returns, the reverse logistics. So we brought all of this together in one place in a seamlessly integrated set of business processes and data, so that you don't have that siloization that Armando was talking about. And we know all customers are on a journey, but we're seeing some great results as customers are able to drop some of the complexity out of their supply chain by adopting these new solutions.
Wow, I love it. And truly so, when I talk to customers everywhere, they are really looking into transforming that connectivity, that orchestration, bringing leaders really on the same view of their supply chains, understanding of the business. And nobody really can do it better than Blue Yonder, which is why Cummins has selected you. But help us understand what is the future of all of this evolution now that we are in a new era of agentic AI,
Right.
transforming the work people do, the flow of work, more intelligent IQ, as we are calling now, all of our capabilities from work IQ, fabric IQ, Azure AI Foundry IQ,
Right.
which is really powering the Blue Yonder capabilities. So help us understand this integration, why Microsoft really propels you forward, and then what's your vision for how Blue Yonder is going to continue to really evolve these amazing capabilities for customers.
Yeah, I love this question. This is what excites me, and I'm lucky enough to be able to work on this every day, and but it all starts with Microsoft. If you look at the foundation there that we're built on is Azure, and all the great services we get from Azure, Kubernetes, and just massive compute farms and data. And now, as you mentioned, AI Foundry is the foundation that we build on top of for our agentic layer of our platform. So you can see there, the platform is built on Microsoft, and now we're building an agentic layer of that platform, those white boxes in the middle. And those are enabling our product teams to come together in a standardized way on top of Foundry. And then it's also enabling our customers to build and extend, build their own agents, right? Through low code, no code, and pro code. And then they can go to the marketplace, they can discover agents, they can configure them and see the consumption and how they're being used. And even in some cases, tweak the prompts and the instructions for the agents. So all of this is coming together. And what it's really yielding for the customers then is at the top, you see the blue boxes. And those are representative personas of the supply chain. And what's changing about the world is, and how we're envisioning AI in the supply chain is that you won't anymore be tied to these complex dashboards. So what we've worked with several customers like Cummins on is, let's get away from the dashboards and the custom reports and all of that. And instead, the agent should bring you your daily brief.
Yeah.
So as your warehouse manager is driving into the office, they're on CarPlay, and the agent is speaking to them what they need to deal with. Oh, here's your hot orders, or you have a stock out that's happening, or did you know that you're behind in receiving? And so then the agent will bring the recommendations, what to do about that. And you can say, well, I don't really agree. I want to prioritize this one over that, and you can dial in what you want to do, and then the agent will go execute for you. And then as you go about your day, it's happening all the time. It's watching for these events. We say agents follow the SATA loop. They see, analyze, decide, and act. And so they sense the physical world through APIs and events. They analyze because they have access to our rich math and the ML and the APIs. And so they analyze what the root cause is. And then they decide and make recommendations of which option to pick. And then as the human counterpart approves that or changes it, they go execute for you.
I love that. See,
Analyze,
and decide.
And act.
And act. Look at that. What a better way to actually help to augment human capabilities. Because I think really that's the flow of how humans start, right? Everything is like the visions, the workflows that you have to do to manage, the analytics that are so important to really make every critical decisions. And of course, the decisions at the end of the day. What decisions really matter for anything that you have to really do at that right moment and at that right place. So visibility and collaboration, building up on that this platform is end-to-end, and Blue Yonder is very well positioned to really transform this in a way that no other customer is doing. But help us understand then companies, not only Cummins, right, but they are really transforming the way that agent capabilities are augmenting humans. One of the critical questions I get asked very often from customers is like, okay, so is Agentic going to replace human? I tell them personally, no, absolutely not. We are in the game to augment these capacities, and as the session calls, is driving growth, profitability, and also productivity. At the end of the day, you hear from Cummins how complex supply chain is, and how siloed and how many SKUs and products need to be managed day to day. Every second, decisions need to be made to really support everything that your customers need. But then, what's your perspective, both, Chris and then Armando, on the future of Agentic, delivering this visibility, collaboration, augmenting humans to do their jobs better?
Yeah, that's exactly the way we see it, and I think you hit the nail on the head. I don't see agents replacing humans, but I do see them helping us move much faster. And if you think about the supply chain, what you really need is speed. Speed of decision making, and then speed of execution, so that you can respond to all of these complex situations as they arise. And so I think it's absolutely true that agents can help automate. And like I described, the warehouse ops agent down there helps you by bringing you the brief, and then working through all these different skills that you may need throughout your day to understand why is inventory placed here in the warehouse and not over here. Well, it's because it needs to be more efficient, and here's why. What would happen if I moved it over there? So there's so many things, and automating invoice processes. Why do we have to spend our days, responding and doing things that largely could be handled through an automated process, right? And understanding labor and resources. Where do I have everything put together, right? And what I think it will do is free up our people to do the things that humans are good at. Think more strategically, and work with partners and interact with customers more. And those are the things that if we get out of the mechanics of the software, we'll be able to really drive more productivity.
Yeah, totally aligned, right? I mean, you have been in a manufacturing plant or a logistics center, right? You can see the dynamics, right, of those operations, right? And we are seeing these tools as a way to empower our employees, right? Empower them to be more productive, to respond with more agility, but at the same time, like Chris said, have more time to continuously improvement, right? Continuously innovating, right? We still, have many opportunities to capture in our supply chain and in our logistics function, and we cannot do that if we continue to do these manual activities, right? So I think that's a great balance and a great combination.
Yeah.
And how we're using technology to empower our employees.
Amazing, and that's so great to hear from both of you. So Chris, you talked about this agentic portfolio. What is amazing about this portfolio that you would probably want to land some key takeaway messages here from the audience? Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big message here is, I mentioned that Blue Yonder is the only end-to-end provider, and this gives you a glimpse of the capabilities that we have and how they all fit together. And you can imagine you have enough complexity in the supply chain with all the physical goods moving and the trucks breaking down and all of that. You don't need IT complexity. And so, but trying to piece all of these very necessary things together yourself is a real daunting challenge for customers. And frankly, I feel like we in the industry have not served the customers well by not doing this sooner, by bringing this end-to-end capability together as a platform in a unified way. But some key things I'll call out are the inventory ops. It all starts with inventory, right? it really, the heart of the supply chain, I said, is the warehouse, and maybe the lifeblood is the inventory that moves around. And the reality is, you see here how important that is with inventory ops from a manufacturing perspective, from a retail perspective, warehouse ops, and being a key aspect. We haven't really talked about, we also have logistics ops where you can analyze backhaul opportunities. Maybe you have empty trailers returning, and you got all those miles, but think of the sustainability impact we could have on the world if all of those trailers were full as they were returning back, or making intermediate stops to move things around. We'd reduce the amount of overall traffic and carbon. And then you look at network ops, being able to look upstream in your supply chain, right? To 2 and 3 and 4 levels upstream in your suppliers and their suppliers, and then understand their impacts on your supply chain, right? So that's critically important. And we have a network with over 150,000 carriers and suppliers that network ops uses to bring to your attention, here's some disruptions and here's what you can do to address them. Armando mentioned tariffs too.
Yep.
We have a tariff agent that helps you understand landed cost impacts of tariffs as they change, and suggests alternate suppliers and things like that. So, and then I haven't even talked about the reverse logistics. Because today, what do? We all order 2 or 3 of that item that we're going to give away for Christmas, right? Or that we want to buy. And then what do? We take back the other ones. And what that creates is this huge reverse logistics problem that people are having to deal with now in a way that they never did before. And so we have agents that are automating that whole process of reverse logistics as well.
I love it. I think it's agents everywhere, as you can see it, whether that is in logistics or warehouse management, operations, inventory optimizations. The new game is really building these agentic capabilities for every function that supply chains have. Armando, we have talked earlier a little bit about the complexity, but also part of that is managing your working capital.
Correct.
So help us understand here why working capital is important for you, of course, from a management perspective and driving profitability, maximizing every task that you do in your supply chain, every decision. But also, let's say from an inventory ops and warehouse management agent ops perspective, how these agentic capabilities that Blue Yonder brings with their platform will drive this transformation of even enhanced working capital management for Cummins.
Yeah. So thank you, Yury. So with this extended footprint of operations, right? We obviously have, great working capital in our facilities, right? And we have, as I said, different ERPs, multiple systems, right? Bringing this end to end and deciding, what's the best place for our inventory, right? Where it needs to be so we can continuously supply the parts, right? Or the finished goods to our customers, right? So it's a complex project to solve, right? It's a complex problem to solve. And we need to bring that end-to-end visibility, and we need to connect those ERPs, right, to make those decisions, right? But again, it's a big amount of information to handle, right? And goes across different segments, goes across multiple SKUs. It's a big complex problem that without more power and smarter tools, we are not able to handle, right? And that's why this agentic can help bridge those different data marts, ERPs, to help our planners and our decision makers to act swiftly, right, and take better decisions. Right?
Thank you, Armando, and that is so great. So you probably have heard enough from us, but why don't we do this? Let's take a look at the inventory ops agent as an example. Remember that we have many agents with Blue Yonder, so Chris can always get in touch and give you more information. But just how this works really, the new flow of work, warehouse management, inventory management. Let's take a look at this demo.
The key thing here is this particular demo is all built inside of Teams and Copilot. So it's the first time we brought our agents into the Microsoft ecosystem. And so what you'll see is that agent directly integrated into Teams.
Amazing. And let's see if I can play this because it may not.
Huh?
I will have to probably
Go
play here.
Plus, press play, I think.
Yonder, the world leader in digital supply chain transformation, just launched its inventory ops agent for 𝗦𝗽𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 Copilot to find supply-demand risks early and provide solutions to quickly resolve them. It works like this. Erica here just received a critical alert in 𝗦𝗽𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 Copilot regarding a fill rate drop and under-forecasting for an important product line. The summary shows the potential monetary impact to her company up front, so she knows this is urgent. Using the inventory ops agent, she can easily analyze the underlying data with interactive views to assess the problem in real time, all with 𝗦𝗽𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 Copilot. The interactive analysis shows that one of the leading root causes for monetary impact is date effectivity on production methods, causing capacity restraints. The inventory ops agent also proactively suggests what else to investigate. In this case, it's the fill rate drop of an important product SKU. Looks like capacity constraints is the culprit here. Each insight is traceable with sources, so Erica has complete confidence in what she is reading and sharing. The inventory ops agent also recommends she further investigate the issues by market region, which she hadn't thought of, and accepts. The agent responds with a link to Yonder's demand and supply planning SaaS app, carrying her Copilot chat context forward seamlessly for further analysis. From alert to action in minutes. Just one more way, agents for 𝗦𝗽𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 Copilot are identifying supply chain risks sooner.
This will work. So how to get started? As you have seen, the journey is not that complex. The supply chains are complex, but the journey is easy. Number one, you prioritize use cases. You heard from Armando how Cummins really started to see, like, where in my business units do I really have the maximum capability to drive value, picking distribution centers to consolidate warehouse management operations, inventory optimization. So prioritize those use cases, start there, and understand that really to drive this, you have to really show business value for your organization. Second frontier is then infusing everything, agentic and generative AI, into your capabilities, especially is giving all of these amazing agentic ops or inventory ops, network ops from Yonder and Microsoft, right? Bringing all of this network of operating agents into the flow of business. And then third is easy also, right? It's just think about scalability. Of course, we know that it's easier said than done, but if you really start from that mindset of prioritize use cases with the mindset of scalability, then I think you will be in the amazing journey to augment how people continue to really enhance their capabilities, how more productive they can become, and how much growth, profitability, and productivity they can drive for the future of your frontier supply chains. With that, I want to thank you for being here. We are here to engage with questions that you may have, connect with us, and we thank you again. Enjoy the rest of the day at Ignite. Thank you, Armando.